You wanted the best, you got the best. The hottest Kiss tribute album in the world, yours. That's right, on today's episode of the Kiss Army Things podcast, we're all going to be getting creative and creating our own Kiss tribute albums, and we want you to join along with us. Daphne and I have already created ours, and this is, of course, coming off the heels of the last episode where we were reviewing Kiss My Ass Classic Kiss Regrouped. It was a 30th anniversary.
And about halfway through that video, you had the amazing idea, what if next episode we make our own hypothetical Kiss tribute albums? Like, if we could pick any artist that's still alive and currently like recording and performing, what would that look like? So I'm very excited because we've had a lot of fun this week.
Yeah, we have, and so we want everybody to, in the comments, follow along and be thinking about your favorite artist or what artist you would want to see play certain Kiss songs. You guys, we're not going to give you guys any rules as far as how you guys want to play it. Feel free to take this and run with it and do whatever you want with it. We've kind of given ourselves a little bit of a structure.
Yeah, some guidelines.
That we're going to follow. But we're going to get to that in just a little bit because I do want to start out with a very quick Kiss Spotlight.
Okay.
Now, usually when we do a Kiss Spotlight, we're talking about the music, what we've been listening to most recently, but sometimes we do media as far as like video and different things like that. Well, today I'm spotlighting something different, but I have to talk about this. We're not doing any sort of news show today, but I have been watching this new video that Gibson TV uploaded called The Collection of Paul Stanley. They do a series where they go through artists and their guitar collections, and it's kind of like talks about their career almost through the guitars themselves, and it's just a really awesome series. And they did Paul Stanley a couple days ago. They uploaded the video. I'm not even all the way through. It's about an hour and a half. It's almost like a documentary.
It is, yeah.
Basically, of Paul Stanley and the host are just going through all of Paul's guitars, Gibson, of course, and just talking about the history of the guitars and what they mean to Paul Stanley and all that. And so it's been absolutely awesome. I texted Jeb and told Jeb about it. I was even messaging Glenn.
Yeah.
And I'm just like, dude, you have to check this out. This is absolutely incredible. And one of the things that just blew my mind was Paul just kind of almost casually said, yeah, this is the guitar that Tommy recorded Sonic Boom and Monster with.
Yeah.
And that just like stopped me dead in my tracks. Like, wait, what?
He said it so casually. Well, this was Tommy's go-to for the last two albums.
It was the go-to. Yeah, he said it wasn't the one that he played. He said this was Tommy's go-to for the last two albums. This is what he played, and it was like some kind of red Gibson SG guitar.
It was gorgeous. It was so cool. It was the one with like the pointy parts at the top.
Yeah.
Oh, it was so cool.
Yeah, it was awesome. And I know nothing about guitars, but I know what a Gibson SG looks like. Thank you, Guitar Hero. But no, so I was like, wait, what? That's the guitar that Tommy used to record both Sonic Boom and Monster. I was just not expecting that. And then I think also he showed a Gibson double neck that he said that he used to record King of the Nighttime World.
Nice.
Which, again, the fact that he still has that guitar and, the fact that those guitars are that legendary, it was just super cool. And he was showing some newer ones, too, like from End of the Road. Yeah. But, no, they were just old guitars, new guitars, but it was just a fascinating video. And the guy that was hosting was obviously a huge Kiss fan. He really knows his stuff, knows the stuff about guitars, too. And it was just a really fun, casual conversation between these two guys. But anyway, the point of today's episode is to kind of continue this whole Kiss tribute album thing. So last episode, like we said, we reviewed Kiss My Ass, which we haven't really listened to that in a long time. I don't think you'd ever listened to it all the way through.
Not at all.
I hadn't listened to it in several years. There were folks in the comments who were like, yeah, this isn't one that I usually revisit. But I gotta be honest, it was really cool going back, listening to that album, and having a better sense of not just those songs and how they were done, but the artists that were doing them.
Absolutely.
I learned so much in preparation for that episode, and I hope
you taught me a lot during the episode.
And I hope everybody else did too, because it was just one of those things where it's like, yeah, that's cool. And maybe we'll have something similar here today, because the whole point of this is, let's say Universal says, all right, Kiss Army, we want to honor Kiss's legacy, their diverse catalog, and their musical impact by releasing a new Kiss tribute album featuring the world's best artists of yesterday, today, and tomorrow. Who do you want? Who do you want to sing on the album, and what songs do you want them to play? Submit yours, and we'll, take a look at it, and whatever. So let's just all think for a minute, use our imagination.
Yes,
like there's going to be
it's all about imagination.
Yeah, there's going to be a new Kiss tribute album in late 2024. Let's say 2025, and it's to celebrate Kiss's 50 years of being a gold album winning band. So let's just go ahead and keep it like that. Like I said, you guys don't have any rules. You guys can put as many songs. Yeah, you can include in as many songs as you want on your list. Artists and bands, living or dead, bands that are still together or not together anymore. Whatever you guys want is fine. We approached it more of like, let's, if it really was coming out next year, who are artists that are still around, still playing.
Yeah, still active in some way.
And may or may not have any relation to Kiss, This could be like, almost like a dream album where it's like your favorite artists that have nothing to do with Kiss doing Kiss songs. Or it could be the classic idea of these bands and these artists were influenced by Kiss, and so they're going to perform those songs.
Yeah.
Or a mixture of both. Mine's kind of a mixture of both, but more of Kiss's influences.
And mine's more completely random.
Yours is like a dream Kiss tribute album.
And I want you guys to have fun with this. Like, this is kind of a completely self-indulgent episode, but, like, that's what we want you guys to do, too. Is just have so much fun. Like, just look through your favorite artists and your favorite playlists, and just think, like, just go through the Kiss catalog. I didn't have a spotlight this week because I have just been listening to all Kiss, like, from all albums, just trying to come up with this track list and trying to imagine these songs in my head sung by different artists.
That's been the fun part.
It's been so much fun, and so we really want you guys to participate. Leave your track lists in the comments. If you want to come up with an album name for yours, you can. We didn't really do that because we just couldn't really settle on anything.
I didn't really get time to, and the ones I came up with weren't really that good. So it was more about the actual context of the songs as opposed to the name of the album. But yeah, you guys take it as far as you want. For us, like we said, we are going to make it more of artists that are still around or still playing today. We also, for time's sake, we're only going to keep it at 13 songs. We thought that maybe 10 was too few, but maybe a 2-disc 20 song would be too long for us to sit here. Yeah, for us to sit here and go back and forth. So for us, in time constraint reasons, we're going to keep it at 13, and we're going to just kind of go from there. And you have been so excited for this.
So excited.
I was really excited when I came up with it in the moment.
Yeah.
But since then, you've taken it and ran with it. So I want to know, you kick us off.
Okay, this has been so much fun because we also have not told each other ours at all, just so
We've
you know.
been playing 20 questions, though.
That's why I'm so excited, because what we're going to do is we're going to go track by track, like compare our
I don't
track
know hers
ones.
and she doesn't know mine.
Yeah, so I'm just excited to see what you have.
I'm excited to see what you have.
Yeah, we've been trying to, like, guess, like you said, 20 questions out of each other, like, what artist might be on there, and, like, does the song start with this letter?
You can't see my list right
No,
here,
I
can
can't.
you?
I'm
Okay, for sure.
But yes, I'm excited. Let me get mine out and we'll get started.
Yeah, I want you to go first, and this is going to be a lot of fun.
And again, this is my music taste, so these are going to be very different, and I am excited.
Right.
So my track one is Psycho Circus.
Psycho Circus.
By Adam Lambert.
Really?
Yeah.
Really?
Oh my gosh, it'd be so good.
Wow. So I gotta say right off the bat, I was kind of hoping that Adam Lambert was going to be on yours.
Were you good?
Because I was trying to think of the artists that I know of yours that I actually know and listen to, or I've heard, and I was like, okay, that one's got to be on there.
And we do know that he is a Kiss fan and has performed with Kiss before on American Idol.
Bingo.
He's just one of my favorite vocalists of all time.
Get the Firehouse.
Yes.
I don't know if you guys heard that, but there was sirens.
He's one of my favorite male vocalists of all time, honestly.
Yeah.
He's just so incredibly talented. I love his voice. He has a very rock and roll but very theatrical voice, and that's why he's literally the front man for Queen at the moment.
Mm-hmm.
And I just think it would be, because this song is like heavy but theatrical, and I think it'd be so good.
This one I wasn't thinking of, because I mean, maybe I should listen to more Adam Lambert, because I think of him as being more of like a, well, no, I mean, he's fronting Queen, so he has to be. Yeah, I think of him as more of just like a pop singer and a very... No. I need to listen to more Adam Lambert, because I would love to hear this, because I'm thinking like, okay, let me ask you this. Psycho Circus has that intro, the carnival music intro. Does your version, or does Adam Lambert's version have that little carnival intro?
Yeah, I think
so. And then it builds up into this big, epic... Okay, for sure. I think
it would still have that.
That's cool. Yeah. That's a good way to introduce the album.
Yeah, I'm very excited
about
that. So,
who's playing the drums and the guitar? Because those drums and the guitar...
I thought about that?
Because the drums and the guitar is like Very important.
I mean, we could ask Queen if they want to join him.
Golly, that would be awesome.
How crazy would that be?
I like that. That would be stone cold crazy.
I mean, they play with him already, so...
Did you get that?
Yes.
For sure, thank you. You can't let that go. That was a Queen joke.
That was good.
I had to make that joke.
That was very good.
For sure.
All right.
That's a great number one.
I want to hear yours.
Well, see, I love this because you're right. That is definitely your music taste.
Yeah.
And this is also very similar to my music taste, too. So you started off with Psycho Circus by Adam Lambert.
Uh-huh.
I'm starting off with Hate by Slipknot. Hate by Slipknot. So
wow.
So here's how. Yeah, I'm not playing.
No, that would be good.
I'm not playing around today. I'm not playing around tomorrow. And in case you had to ask, I wasn't playing around yesterday. This song, yeah, is obviously it's heavy, but Slipknot, man. First of all, yes, they are one of my favorite bands. I've been a huge Slipknot fan since I was in middle school, all throughout high school. Finally saw them a few years ago. I really dig Slipknot. Obviously, I feel like bands like Kiss walked so that Slipknot could run, because Slipknot obviously is known for their image as well. I feel like they're a really good modern, I'm not going to say a modern version of Kiss, but a modern adaptation where it's like you have a group of guys that are all easily recognizable by their faces / costumes, the outfits they wear. The guys in Kiss had, the Demon Star Child. These guys have numbers that they're
masks.
The masks, yeah. So it's I feel like a modern adaptation of the concept of Kiss, where the band is more than just the members themselves.
They
it's
almost
an
have
embodiment.
Characters and alter egos.
Exactly.
And,
It's lore and it exists in its own world. And they're bringing us into their world anyway.
Right.
But Slipknot also is just a super heavy band.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like Kiss, maybe back in the day, was considered scary, considered heavy. Not really anymore. But Slipknot could still be considered, scary and heavy.
Yeah.
I love, again, their mask, their image. It's super heavy. It's super dark. I love it. And so when I think about their music, though, obviously it's very thrashy. It's very heavy, guttural vocals. I thought, Corey Taylor is a huge Kiss fan, first of all. I know he had Kiss's makeup on he and his band's faces on his solo album recently that came out. That was really cool. And so I know he's talked about in interviews how much of a Kiss fan he is. I know Clown Sean has talked about being a huge Kiss fan, sneaking backstage into Kiss concerts.
Nice.
Backstage. So yeah, all that's great. And I think that when I was trying to think about what song I wanted to give Slipknot, I was like, it would be weird to give them a 70s Kiss song.
Yeah.
Unless it was something like super heavy, like Parasite, which we've already heard, covers of Parasite in the past. And so I was like, what is one of the heaviest Kiss songs that Slipknot would just knock out of the park?
Yeah.
And my mind immediately went to Hate.
Oh, they would devour
because
it.
They would devour it. First of all, Mick Thompson, Jim Root on the guitar. I mean, their guitar tone is just nasty, first of all. And I feel like, Corey's vocals are some of the best. He has really good gutturals and cleans, but he's going to be using more gutturals, more of that lower, vocals in this song. And oh my gosh, it would sound so good.
I can hear it already.
Plus, again, when I think about Slipknot and their production, I mentioned Psycho Circus, in the cool opening to Psycho Circus. Well, Hate has that very distorted, almost like a radio going in and out, distorted effect. And Slipknot, their albums always start out with something creepy,
right?
Some sort of either instrumental or some sort of weird sound effect, little piece to kind of introduce the album and kind of get the goosebumps. Oh, what's this? Very dissonant, you know what I mean? So I feel like if Slipknot were to do their own version of that, not just that song, but that intro, it would be total Slipknot.
Yeah.
It's Kiss, but it's total Slipknot.
Yeah.
And it's just a heavy way to kick off the album. I mean, if you were thinking the album was going to start off slow and then build up, no. I mean, this one is just...
We both came in pretty hot.
Yeah, immediately, Hate by Slipknot would be awesome.
I can hear it already, and it passes as a Slipknot song. Lyrics and everything. Just the whole vibe.
Yeah, the lyrics, the riff, and then the drum beats all around the kit. It's not just very four on the floor. It's just a all around the kit drum beat, super heavy riffs. Heavy vocals, so that's my track one.
I feel like the lyrics make more sense as a Slipknot song than they do as a Kiss song to begin with.
Kind of, yeah. I thought
that.
about maybe Unholy, because again, it's one of those heavy Gene songs, but Unholy is just too slow. Unholy's too slow. Hate is...
that's fair.
For Slipknot, boom.
I like it. Very strong opening.
Yep.
We're ready for track 2.
The opening is very important. So everybody, be thinking about your opener and who you want to kick off your album.
You actually got to think about the track list. That's what I struggled with the most, because I finally figured out all of my artists and my songs, and then I was like, I don't know how people come up with the perfect ordering for an album. It's hard.
Yeah.
I feel like to come up with a good opening track and a good closing track is one thing, and that can be done. But as far as the rest of it goes, I was like, I don't even know where to begin. So I just kind of kept rearranging until it felt right. But,
Good, for sure. Yeah, that's what we'll try to do.
Yeah.
For sure.
All right, we ready for track 2?
I'm ready for track 2.
This is gonna feel like left field for you, I'm sure.
Okay.
My track 2 is "Watching You" by Paramore.
Ooh. Okay.
I don't know why
Man,
I can hear Hayley
about-
Williams singing this song.
I didn't think about having Paramore
I
on
think
the
I
album.
think they would do so good. I can't see most of mine. I don't have like
That
an
sounds
in-depth
good.
explanation the way that
No,
you
no,
do.
no, that's
I just
okay.
have vibes, and
vibes are the most important.
Yeah, and
If the vibes are off, the vibes are off.
yeah. So for every artist on here, I had like so many choices. Like I would write down the name of the artist and then like 4 or 5 different songs to choose between. And last night you saw I had my headphones on. I was just listening through all those songs trying to narrow it down.
Mm-hmm.
And for some reason, nothing worked for Paramore the way that Watching You did.
Wow.
And I just think it'd be so good.
Cool. I
Yeah.
like that. See, again, that's one that I never would have heard, so I like that.
Yep.
I like that for sure.
What you got?
My track 2 is a little weird. I'm just gonna admit that.
Okay.
So, but I want you to hear me out.
Okay.
Okay. My track 2 is "Within" by Godsmack.
Ooh.
But now, obviously, Godsmack is notoriously a hard rock band.
Uh-huh.
But they have another side to them.
Yeah, no, I know exactly what you're talking about.
Voodoo, Serenity.
Serenity. My favorite side
Imagine
of Godsmack.
Within, Cry Without Tears,
Oh my
Sleep
gosh.
Without Sight, Night Without
That's
Day.
so good.
In Sully's voice,
Yeah.
with the bongos
Yep.
and Voodoo style Within.
Yeah.
That, when I thought of that, I was like,
I
am I
hear
a
it.
genius or am I a genius?
You are.
Because, again, okay, Godsmack, first of all, one of my all-time favorite bands.
Yeah,
I've been a
I
Kiss-
wondered what you'd give them.
For sure, yeah. I mean, I've been a Kiss fan since '98. That's the first band I ever heard. First album I heard, Psycho Circus. The second album may have been Godsmack's debut,
Yeah.
which came out, I think, the same year. So I've been listening to Godsmack for a long time. They're one of the bands that I grew up with from the time I was just like 3 on, you know what I mean? And you just can't touch their debut album. You can't touch their third album. I would argue that you can't even touch The Oracle and 1,000 Horsepower. But again, yeah, they have a certain structure to their albums where a lot of the times the last song on the album will be this more tribal,
Yeah.
trippy or
Trippy is what I would
sounding
say,
song.
yeah.
Yeah, because Sully is really talented, not just at singing and songwriting and playing guitar, but playing drums, bongos, harmonica. He's a multi-instrumentalist.
he's so good.
He's super talented at pretty much everything he does. Lots of Godsmack's music is just like mind-blowing, which sounds weird because I feel like Godsmack, even though Jeb and I are huge Godsmack fans, Godsmack is one of those bands that I feel like not like quite like Nickelback,
but has a bit of a reputation.
I don't know why.
Yeah.
Because when I hear songs like Straight Outta Line, you know what I mean? That song, I mean, I get the entire Faceless record, first of all,
Yeah.
is just absolutely awesome. It's one of my favorite albums to listen to real loud in the car, just because the guitar tone is so nasty and so heavy. But anyway, the last song on the album, Serenity, which is the antithesis of the whole album. But it's one of the best songs
my favorite
on the album.
Godsmack song by far.
Dad loved that song. Jeb and I loved that song. We got to see Godsmack live a few years ago, so
Yeah.
I thought they got to be on the album. I'm not really sure that Godsmack was like influenced by Kiss necessarily. I have seen a picture of Gene and Sully Erna backstage before.
Nice.
I think it might have been at the VH1 Rock Honors because Kiss was being honored, and Godsmack at the time was honoring Judas Priest.
Okay, cool.
By playing a whole set of Judas Priest tracks.
Nice.
Which was super awesome. But I guess backstage, Sully and Gene must have came across one another and got a really cool picture, which is awesome. So I thought, well, Godsmack has to be on the album, but what hard song am I going to give them? I thought, why give them a hard song when I can flip the script? And when I hear Within in my head, and I think about Godsmack's tribal sound, it just makes absolute perfect sense. There's a part at the end where Gene's like doubling his vocals. You have like,
Yep.
he's like, see without, all that up top, but he's also like, I want to say from within. I imagine Sully doing the exact same thing,
so good.
just like he does in Serenity. You know what I mean? So when I hear it, it just makes perfect sense. I will admit it's a little weird to have such at the beginning of the album, but my album is going to be kind of like Kiss My Ass on steroids.
Okay.
In a way, you know what I mean? So this you might like think is left field, but this would be awesome, especially in Godsmack sound. I love it.
I think it makes perfect sense, actually. And as soon as you said it, I saw the vision because I was thinking of that other side of Godsmack.
Yeah.
So I really, really like that.
The other side of Godsmack. That's an album.
Oh, nice. I didn't
Nice.
know that. All right, are we ready for track 3?
Yeah. By the way, I think it's raining. So if you guys hear the rain, tears are falling.
Speaking of which, we may need to pause because our cats are outside.
All right. Crisis averted.
Yes. All right. Are we ready for? Is it track 3?
Yes. Track 3 officially.
Okay. So we're starting to go even more pop for a minute, but hear me out.
Let's go.
So we talked about this artist, and I don't know if you ended up using her or not, but my track 3 is A Million to One by Lady Gaga.
Oh, whoa.
Yeah. How good would that be?
Ooh, your track 3 is Lady Gaga.
Yeah.
Okay.
A Million to One. I thought it was a perfect song for her.
One.
Her voice is so good, and I think her voice is underrated, but she has some songs. Like, if you've ever heard the song You and I from one of her first albums, her voice is huge and fantastic, and I think she would kill this song. We also know that Lady Gaga is a big Kiss fan. We've seen pictures of them together. We've seen her wearing Paul's boots or something. Like, she's definitely a Kiss fan. She definitely is influenced by Kiss. I mean, her whole vibe of her image and her stage theatrics and everything is definitely giving Kiss.
Absolutely.
So I thought she had to be on this album somewhere.
That's cool.
Yeah.
That's cool. That you chose A Million to One. So the style of music, you're thinking more pop or like what style of Lady Gaga? Because she has a couple different styles.
Yeah, I mean she does it all, so I think it could still be pretty rocky.
So you're thinking about having a traditional band backing her
yes.
in this song? Okay, cool. I like that.
Yeah.
I would like to hear that.
I would too.
For sure. And you want to know why? Because my track 3 is Calling Dr. Love by Lady Gaga.
Dr. Love?
Calling Dr. Love. I told you this is going to get wild.
I can't believe we both put Gaga on track 3. That's fun.
we both have Gaga. We both have Gaga on track 3.
That's
now,
right.
Obviously, yes, I think it's super cool that there's a modern artist like Lady Gaga who is openly, admittedly, a fan of Kiss, been photographed with Kiss. I think she's talking about being front row at Kiss shows.
Yeah.
That's super awesome, first of all. And you're a bigger fan of her than I am. So the Gaga that I know is the radio Gaga, as far like Bad Romance.
Yeah.
And some of those songs from like 2009, right?
I'm sorry, Radio Gaga is also a Queen song. I know that's not what you meant.
Oh, for sure. No, Radio Gaga, for sure. No, that plays at work sometimes.
Yeah. Anyway.
No, but anyway, I was thinking of more like the Lady Gaga from the radio.
Yeah, Bad Romance, Poker Face.
Bad Romance, Poker Face, exactly.
Just Dance.
Exactly.
Yeah.
The dance electropop.
Yeah.
Which, this is funny because I feel like you and I are at this weird in-between phase where we're not old, but we're not young.
Yeah.
So those who are old think that we're young, and those that are young think we're old.
Yep.
But it's funny because we're at a point now where when I listen to that kind of pop from 2009, 2010, 2011, it sounds very nostalgic.
Oh yeah.
Because that's what was on the radio when I was in high school. And even though I wasn't like openly a really big pop fan and didn't really know that I was actually like listening to this and would actually still listen to it years later, it just has a nostalgic sound to me now. So I think Katy Perry, Kesha especially.
Yeah.
When I hear some Kesha songs from back in the day, it's that hard-hitting electro dance pop.
Yeah.
That was so in at the time.
Yeah, they just don't make pop like that right
and
now.
So that's the kind of version of Lady Gaga I'm going with mine for Calling Dr. Love. And you're thinking, why Calling Dr. Love? Well, I just love the idea of flipping that song around where it's Gene Simmons saying, get on your knees. There are no bills, there are no fees. In the end, you'll let me in. And I like the lyrics being sung by Lady Gaga instead, whereas the guys are like, falling over her, and she has the cure that they're thinking of.
Okay.
And so, she's the pop star on stage. And I feel like it would be, with her production style, she could make that song huge.
Yeah.
Production-wise.
Yeah. It
would be awesome. Because I feel, again, I mentioned this before recently, how that song is like one of the best cuts off that album. Off of Rock and Roll Over.
Recording, yeah.
And I feel like this would stand out a lot with Lady Gaga. And I don't know why. I know it's a random choice.
It is random, but I want to hear it.
But just, again, the intro. Dun, 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 dun. What if that was a hard-hitting synth? and the drums come in, and Lady Gaga is singing.
That's great. That's great. I love it because
You're full of sin. One day you'll let me in.
Yeah.
There's nothing you can do.
That's so good.
Lady Gaga, yeah.
So yours is Calling Dr. Love in the style of very early Gaga, Poker Face, all of that. And I'm thinking still kind of early Gaga, but a little after that, like Edge of Glory, You and I, those kind of songs where she has the big vocals. And there still would be some pop production to it, but I do picture like real instruments too.
Yeah. Yeah. So I know that's absolutely random.
I love it.
The most random one so far. But I thought, you know what, this would be really interesting, and I would love to see that. So again, maybe a kiss my ass moment right there, but I love it.
That's okay. I love it, and I love the coincidence that we both had Gaga
at track 3.
Yeah.
Unplanned.
Are you ready for 4? I'm really excited about this one.
Let's go.
I'm really excited about this one. It's just I hear it. Hide Your Heart by Paul McCartney.
You're kidding me.
I'm not kidding you.
You're kidding me.
I'm not kidding you.
First of all, could you imagine Paul McCartney on a Kiss tribute album?
Yes.
That would be insane.
That would be insane. And I know this one is mostly just for me because I love Paul McCartney. Would he do it? I don't know.
I want to know what his respect level is for Kiss. If he's like, I stay away from that. Or if he's like, those lads got some good tunes.
He's pretty supportive of all artists, so I imagine that he probably likes Kiss.
But oh my gosh.
Yeah.
Hide Your Heart.
It would be so good. So my favorite, I love Paul McCartney.
The storytelling, songwriting?
Yes,
okay,
he's so versatile, but my favorite is his storytelling songs. And I just can hear this story sung in his voice. I think it would be so good. Like even current present day Paul McCartney, like he's got that older voice, but he can still sing. He's still out there performing.
Absolutely.
He's still making new albums, really good new albums. And I just think he would kill it. And this is one of my favorite Kiss songs ever. And I knew that it had to be on here somewhere because I just love Hide Your Heart. And I tried it with a couple different artists, and it just wasn't hitting. And then I also simultaneously really wanted Paul McCartney on this album, but I almost didn't put him on here because I couldn't find a song that worked for a while. Mm-hmm. I was like, I'm not going to force it just because I'm a huge Beatles fan and I love Paul.
Sure.
But then when it clicked, I was like, oh no, we're putting that on there.
Interesting. I can kind of hear it too, honestly.
Yeah.
Johnny saw her riding this. Yeah, I can hear that. I can hear that. It was on the street. I can hear that.
Yes. I mean, like, I would say at least half of his songs, I mean, he does, write a lot of personal songs, but I would say at least half of his songs are, like, made-up stories as well.
Yeah, exactly. So, with made-up characters in their own little world, yeah. And, this is random, but when they did that video, Kiss, for Hide Your Heart, they were recording on the top of a building. Yeah. And, of course, Beatles notoriously recorded on the top
the rooftop.
The rooftop. Yeah. So, that's kind of cool. Maybe if Paul did and he recorded a video, he could record it on the video on the top.
That'd be so good.
Top of the
just
building.
To tie in the two bands.
That's really cool, though. I like that.
Yeah.
Great thinking.
I'm pleased with that one.
I mean, if we got Stevie Wonder on Kiss My Ass, I mean, maybe we could get Paul McCartney on the next Kiss tribute album. Since Gene and Paul did Venus and Mars rock show,
right?
Paul could return the favor.
Exactly. It's only right.
It's only right. So, yeah, great. I love that because, again, it's your music taste. So, here we go. So, track number 4 for me, Cold Gin by Anthrax.
Okay.
Anthrax was never not going to be on this album.
That makes sense.
Anthrax was always going to be on this album. We all know that they did a great version of She off of Kiss My Ass, and they also have done plenty of other Kiss covers in the studio, live, whatever. But I thought, what song would I give to Anthrax
that they haven't already done?
But this one was honestly kind of hard because they're obviously a heavy band. They're a thrash metal band. They've been around for a long time. Huge Kiss fans. Kiss has influenced them. One of the reasons why they were also on my album. But I was like, whatever song I give them, it has to be riff driven. Mm-hmm. It has to have a good jam in it. It has to be perfect. And originally, I toyed with Hotter Than Hell.
Mm-hmm. Okay.
Because there's the part at the end, da-na-na-na-na-na, da-na-na-na-na-na, and just hearing Charlie on the drums and just Scott slamming the guitar, I was just like, oh, that's going to be huge. But I thought about, well, would it sound right to have Anthrax say, she looked good, she looked hotter than hell, all dressed in satins and lace? I was like, lyrically, it's not them.
It's not giving Anthrax.
The back half is Anthrax. Yeah. Where it's just all out.
Like instrumentally maybe, but lyrically no.
But lyrically,
I feel that.
So I was like, man, what song would... And I thought, well, they did a good version of Parasite. And that was, obviously one of Ace's, best songs ever. So I was like, well, what other Ace song could they do? Cold Gin. because obviously, you know, there is, again, riff driven, and then about 2/3 of the way through you have the dun 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 dun. I'm like, oh, that would be so thrashy. They did She off of Kiss My Ass, and did I say Parasite a minute ago off Kiss My Ass? If so, I misspoke.
I'm not sure.
They did a cover of Parasite somewhere else, but on Kiss My Ass it was She.
Mm-hmm.
But as soon as She comes on Kiss My Ass, that's the one that gets my, like, whoa!
Yeah.
When that guitar tone hits, it's real. That's real metal, and so I'm like, I want that tone on this album too. And so I gave him Cold Gin. Yeah, I think it'd be great. Also, the problem with Hotter Than Hell, again, it was a Paul song, too. I felt like they were better suited for a song that has a Gene vocal, since it sounds more heavy naturally. So, yeah, Cold Gin just ended up working well.
That makes sense. I'm almost surprised they haven't done it already.
They need to, because it would be so good. Because I can actually hear that in my head, like vocally especially. But that jam, about 2/3 of the way through with the solo, and, it's just perfect.
I love it.
So that's my track 4.
All right, track 5. Let's see. I know what it is, but I'm just double checking. Okay. Y'all knew I had to put this artist on here.
Okay.
And I know this is my music taste. This is person... Well, I was going to say they don't have anything to do with Kiss, but they actually do, which we can get into in a minute.
Okay.
My track 5 is Dreamin'.
Dreamin'. Is this by
Taylor Swift?
Okay.
Yeah. I told you were going to be surprised by the song I chose for her.
Can't tell the daylight. Yeah.
It would lyrically be good. It would be so good. There's a fine line
between the truth and how we want it.
I wanted to find something that was really strong lyrically, and something that I feel like because her strongest ability, a secondary to songwriting, is just the emotion that she's able to put into songs when she sings them. I know it sounds really basic, but not every artist has that, where you just feel everything they're saying. You know,
if she's heartbroken, her voice says heartbroken. Yes. If she's confident, you hear it in her voice.
You feel it.
Whatever she's feeling, you feel.
Yes, yeah. And this is a very emotional song, and I just feel like that would come across.
Sing-songy, song.
Yes, yeah. And I see it like starting quieter and really, really building towards the end. There's 2 artists on this track list that I had a really hard time narrowing down songs for.
For sure.
So I have like some little honorable mention bonuses I want to mention.
At the end?
Should I wait till the end?
Yes.
Okay, because she has like 3 extra ones.
I only have a couple bonus ones that I thought of. But yeah, if you want at the end, we can do some bonus ones at the end.
Yeah, Taylor is the only one that I didn't finally decide on her song until today. I mean, I had this one written down, but I really wanted to listen to the other ones I had just to be sure. But I think it would be fantastic. And I was going to say, I know we've talked about this before, but she does have some Kiss tie-ins.
Yeah, surprisingly, yes.
Yeah.
It's everything goes back to Kiss, man.
Absolutely. She, a few years, I would say a few years back, like 10 or 15 years at this point.
When she was an opening act.
Yeah, when she was opening for Keith Urban, she and some of her band came out on stage. I think it might have been April Fool's Day or something like that, but came out on stage during Keith Urban's set. He was singing a song called Kiss a Girl, yeah. And so some of them were dressed as like Hershey Kisses, came out to like mess with him. But Taylor came out dressed as the Spaceman. Yep. Full makeup, full costume. It
was crazy.
Some of her bandmates were other Kiss members.
Yeah.
And it was just fantastic.
It was very well done, and it was very funny.
And Keith was very surprised.
Yeah, he was very surprised. He had a hard time keeping it together, but then he, straightened up and focused, and she came out and sang it with him. And then Paul Sidoti, her longtime guitar player.
Lead guitarist, yep.
Her lead guitarist is a huge Kiss fan.
Has met him multiple times. And is friends with some of the past members and everything.
And Taylor even got Gene on the phone for him for his birthday, which it got him a Kiss cake, right?
Yep.
It was in her documentary.
Yep.
Fantastic. That was awesome.
Yeah. So there are some Kiss Taylor Swift tie-ins.
I like that. I'm trying to think like what 80s, 90s Paul song wouldn't work for Taylor. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Because I'll Fight Hell to Hold You would be, I think, a good one. Tears Are Falling might do. I'm starting to. She's like, shut up because you're naming my.
You don't want to spoil my bonus songs.
For sure. Maybe she could sing Bang Bang You. No, I'm just kidding. I'm just playing. Anyway, so that's
my
your track 5.
Yes.
So my track 5 is Under the Rose by Ghost.
Ooh, whoa.
Now, I will be honest. I don't listen to Ghost. I don't hate Ghost. I had nothing against Ghost. Actually, I respect Ghost because they are, again, a modern, successful rock band. They also have done really well at putting a unique sort of spin on their image.
Mm-hmm.
They're a very image-based band. I love that. But they also have a reputation of kind of like Kiss, where it's like you'd think Kiss would be a heavier band than they are, but they're not. You look at Ghost and think they're going to be like death metal, and then they actually sound very light in comparison to some other heavier bands, especially bands that look like that. But
right.
I really don't care. Again, I'm not a huge fan of theirs, but I recognize their talent, recognize their success. And Tobias Forge has been very open about being a Kiss fan, being influenced by Kiss, and you can very well see it in the band and the image and his ability. I think I saw an interview where he was talking about how something very similar to Gene. Gene talks about how a bunch of angry notes or a bunch of notes on like an angry bee.
Yeah.
Tobias was talking about how you got players that can shred, but they don't have no sense of melody and rhythm and structure and composition. He was talking about I come at it that way. Probably because I'm a huge Kiss fan, and that's where kind of Kiss did really well, was creating memorable riffs and chords and things like that. So that was really cool. But I thought, well, what song are they going to do? Well, Under the Rose is a very big song vocally. It's a lot different than, obviously it's on the Elder, so of course it's a lot different than most traditional Kiss songs from the 70s especially. But I thought, well, what song would it sound close to like Ghost? Because again, I'm not really a big Ghost fan, so I was like, I'm just gonna listen to some Ghost and try and find the song that I think would sound kind of like this. And so there's a good chunk of the song Zenith, that I was like, take this and just copy paste onto the Oath, and that would be.
Wait, the Oath or Under the Rose?
I'm sorry, Under the Rose.
Okay,
My bad. Yeah, I was saying that about the Elder.
You're fine.
For a second there. But yeah, no, Under the Rose by Ghost I think would be very interesting.
I love that.
I don't know if it would
so
be
creative.
Tobias's choice, but I think once he maybe heard my vision, he'd be like, okay, I can see that.
Yeah.
I can see that.
I like that a lot.
I think it'd be interesting to hear.
Yeah, I'm so glad you have an Elder song on your album. I'm curious to see if there's any more. Okay, so on to track 6, I believe.
Yes.
Okay, so this one I'm also proud of. I'm proud of all of them. But
okay.
My track 6 is Every Time I Look at You.
Whoa.
By Keith Urban, who we just talked about.
What?
Yes. I didn't even...
Every Time I Look at You by Keith Urban.
Yes.
What? Okay, first of all, Keith Urban, he loves Paul Stanley.
Yes, he does love Paul Stanley.
Huge Kiss fan, loves Paul Stanley.
And I love
that.
Keith Urban. I am not a country fan by any means. I never have been. In fact, most of my life I've been pretty against country. But over the last few years, I've come to realize that there are a lot of good country artists, and not everyone in the genre is bad. And it turns out I love Keith Urban.
That's great.
And I've gotten really into his music in the last year or two.
You have.
But kind of like Taylor, he has a real talent for putting emotion in his voice. And some of my favorite songs of his are, even though he has a lot of really upbeat, really happy songs, he has some slower, more emotional, kind of ballady songs that are just so good. Okay. And he has quite the range too. And I also see he's a fantastic guitar player, like amazing. And a lot of his songs have a lot of electric guitar, so they're more kind of rocky country is his vibe.
Okay.
So I see him like playing guitar on this song, doing the solo and acoustic. Everything. Yeah.
Yeah.
And I just think it'd be so good in his voice. I can hear it.
Do you see it having like a little bit of more of a country style to it as well?
A little bit, but not too much, because I think all it takes to make it a country song is just his voice. You know what I mean? Like I don't think too much needs to be done to it otherwise. I'm sure a few slight production changes, but
that'd be cool.
I just think
I like it,
good.
dude.
Yeah.
I like that.
Yeah.
That'd be so cool. Yeah, yours is interesting.
Yeah, I know. It's completely different.
My track 6, this would be interesting too. This one, I chose Jungle by Tool.
Oh, okay.
So, again, I'm not like a huge Tool fan, but I recognize Tool's success, their musical abilities, and their influence and all that. And we already had Maynard on Kiss My Ass,
right? Yeah.
So why not bring his?
I bet he'd do it again.
Bring the full band, and just have him do a Kiss song. Jungle, yeah. So again, I'm not really a big Tool. Jeb is. If Jeb were here, he'd be like, "Oh man, let's do a whole Tool Kiss tribute,
Right?
Whatever." But I thought, well, Tool, I know they like to mess with time signatures.
Mm-hmm.
They have the longest song. So I thought, well, what's a Kiss song that's just really long, really complex, and really, bouncy and just different, And I thought, Jungle. I was like, first of all, it's going to be something off Carnival of Souls.
Yeah.
I thought, I want to have something from The Elder and Carnival just to throw everything off. You know what I mean? And just go completely.
Feel that.
Yeah, exactly. So I just wanted to throw something in there. A little different curveball, and I chose Jungle from Carnival of Souls. But I was like, well, who's going to play it? And I was kind of going between Dream Theater and Tool, two progressive bands.
Yeah.
Because I wanted to have a diverse, artistry and diverse genres of music. We have thrash metal, we have like 90s metal, we have, of course, like 2000s pop, 80s thrash, and modern rock, and now we're doing some progressive rock.
Nice.
And I thought this would be a song that I would love to hear. They have a song, I think it's called Schism. Mm-hmm. And when I listened to Schism, I was like, now see, if you just, again, kind of take this and almost copy and paste it into Carnival of Souls realm, into Jungle, that'd be really awesome.
Yeah.
And Maynard's vocals, he's a really good singer, so I think he would really nail it.
Absolutely.
I would love to hear it.
I like that. I like how you, even though you like a lot of these bands, your album, you tried a lot more for it to make sense. I feel like mine is just my favorite artist. But that's okay.
But that, again,
like we said, make your
there's
own
no
rules.
There are no rules. Make your own rules. So hopefully you guys are, knee deep in yours.
Yes,
hopefully you're on track 7 too, just like we are.
Yes, I cannot wait to read the comments on this one.
Me too. That's the whole point of this. Is we're all gonna learn so much about each other and like what we listen to, what we like. So yeah.
So
here we go. Throw a rock in it. Let's go.
So my track 7.
Mm-hmm.
This is
your Toad the Wet Sprocket. We're allowed one or two or more Toad the Wet Sprocket moments where
I think this is my only one.
Okay.
But this is my Toad the Wet Sprocket. This is my random choice.
Let her eat.
Most of you probably have never heard of this band. If you have, that's great.
Okay.
They're nothing like Kiss, but they're gonna kill this song.
Love it.
Let Me Know by the Lemon Twigs.
Let Me Know by the Lemon Twigs, and they're a newer band.
Yes, I mean they've been around for definitely a few years now, but it's a younger band, mainly composed of 2 brothers from like Long Island or something.
Mm-hmm. Oh, that's right. Yep.
And they're young; they're probably still in their 20s. And I discovered them from a YouTuber, Elliot Rogers, I think is his name, who makes a lot of Beatles content and other music related videos. And he posted a video last year, or maybe earlier this year, about this album that came out in 2023 by a band called the Lemon Twigs. And he convinced me immediately in this video to listen to this album, and I became obsessed with it. It's called Everything Harmony.
Okay.
And that's like all I listened to for like a month straight was that album. I could not stop. It's so good. It's very like, kind of Beatle-y, kind of like Beatles mixed with the Byrds, mixed with like Simon and Garfunkel.
It feels very 60s.
Very
60s folk rock.
yeah. Some Beach Boys-esque harmonies, and that's why I chose this song. First of all, I think the whole song I can hear them doing. But especially those harmonies at the end.
Let me know.
Because their vocal harmonies together are just absolutely stunning. Because they both sing. And that's
brothers.
why... And this song, it goes back and forth, doesn't it?
Right, yeah.
Yes.
Gene sings, Paul and Gene go
Yeah,
back
Paul
and
and
forth.
Gene both sing on this song. And I want to hear the brothers in the Lemon Twigs go back and forth singing this.
Wow.
And then the harmonies at the end would just be so good.
That's so cool.
So that's my random one. I don't know if any of you know this band, but
they do now.
check it out.
Check it out if you like that kind of music, because you never know, you might find something new. Yeah, that's the whole point of this. Is like we're getting a feel for different music tastes, different artists, different genres.
I wasn't gonna stick them on there just to do it. I wanted to make sure I found a song that fit them, and as soon as I listened to that, I was like, that's it.
Yeah, so mine is the complete opposite.
I can't wait. What's your track?
Mine is the most appropriate for this album.
Okay.
This one makes the most sense out of any Kiss cover that was ever done before it. and this is God of Thunder by Rob Zombie.
Okay.
So the reason why
100%.
this makes sense is because Rob Zombie fronted the All-Star group back on the VH1 Rock Honors.
Did they do this song?
Yes, it was Rob Zombie, Tommy Lee, Scotty, and Gilby
Clark.
Yeah. Slash and Ace.
Oh, it'd be so good to have a recorded version of that.
They all recorded God of Thunder. So this version isn't necessarily the All-Star band. It could be. But I just figured since Rob Zombie, yeah, for sure.
Yeah.
But I was thinking realistically, yeah, that'd be cool for like a, imagination. But I think realistically, yeah, Rob Zombie. I mean, you can get his band or whoever you want.
Yeah.
You get John Five back for guitar, whatever. That'd be super awesome. Yes, that. Oh, there we go. Yes, Rob Zombie featuring, John Five. Gotta make an amendment there. But God of Thunder is not only is it the song that Rob sang with the All-Star Group on VH1 Rock Honors in 06, but it also was the very first thing you heard in his 07 remake of Halloween.
Oh, right.
As soon as the movie starts, it just goes from black to you see the house, and God of Thunder comes on.
Nice.
And it's absolutely perfection. So I thought, okay, well, that makes perfect sense. Even Mike Myers is wearing a Kiss shirt in that scene.
Right.
So I was like, oh, yeah, that just makes perfect sense. So I thought God of Thunder is going to be played by Rob Zombie. It would just be super heavy. His vocals suit it. Jeb and I got to see Rob Zombie in Kiss live.
That's true.
A couple of years ago. Super awesome. I know he's a huge Kiss fan. Rob Zombie is. And so I think it would just be a match. Yeah. It's a match made in heaven.
You're right. It makes perfect sense. I love it. All right. What do we got for track 8? Oh, this one's fun. So my track 8 is Strutter.
Ooh.
By Harry Styles.
125% yes. Paul Stanley would listen to that the rest of his life only.
That. Yeah.
That would be so cool to hear. Wow, babe.
Yeah. So for those of you that only know of Harry Styles from like One Direction and his poppier songs, he also does have a more rock side.
A really good rock album.
Yeah, so his first debut album, post One Direction, was a pretty straight ahead, like, rock album.
Paul Stanley endorsed it, and they played his song. If you saw Kiss within the last 5 years, they played his song every night.
They played the song Kiwi every single night.
Is that what it's called?
Yeah.
There you go, Kiwi, Harry Styles. Look it up now. Yeah. Good.
They played that every single night, and so just in that style of that first debut album, because he's gone through some different style changes since then and is a little more poppy right now, like experimental pop.
Right.
But just from that album, that just straight ahead rock, like British rock.
Yes,
like
absolutely.
I feel like it would be so good for Strutter.
That is like the most British rock song that Kiss ever.
It?
Yeah, and it's the first Kiss song.
I don't know why. It just makes
Kiss
sense.
album.
I can hear it in his voice.
Yeah, that's 125% perfect right there.
I
love it. My track 8 is a little different. Now, first of all, my track 8 is The Oath.
Okay.
But that's 2 Elder songs now. Imagine that. Yeah, so never saw that coming, did you? No, never mind. I was going to say I had no songs off the first album, but that's not true. Talked about Cold Generated. But anyway, so when I first put The Oath down, I had another artist, I think, in place.
Oh, is this the one you couldn't remember?
Yes. So when I made my list, I had everything written down, but when I came back to check it, for some reason, I forgot to put the artist I had in mind down next to The Oath. And I still can't think of the original artist.
I was hoping it would come to you.
I don't think that the one I chose, I don't think is the original one. But yeah, I was like, man, whatever it was a perfect choice. But I think this one also is a perfect choice. So who do I have singing The Oath? Iron Maiden.
Ooh.
Iron Maiden. I will admit I need to be more well-versed in Iron Maiden's music, but I love Iron Maiden from what I know.
Yeah.
They're great. I never got to see them live, unfortunately, but talk about an incredible band. Musically, vocally, songwriting. I wanted a band whose lyrics weren't that far off from The Oath.
Yeah.
Because there's very specific bands that can sing, like a blade of a sword and forged in flame, fiery hot.
Yes.
And Iron Maiden, first of all, Iron Maiden is I think a medieval torture device. So that right there makes perfect sense.
Yep.
Their music is, very, not like otherworldly, but it's, the songwriting is a lot different than what you would get in Kiss. You know what I mean? So I feel like their style of music and songwriting would fit this song perfectly.
I love it.
And I don't know if this is true or not, but I know that they've had a couple of vocalists. But before they even started recording albums, they went through a lot of different members. And one of their lead singers originally would wear like Kiss-like makeup and was a huge Kiss fan. and started bringing that into the stage. So the very, very early incarnation of Iron Maiden was fronted by a Kiss lookalike.
Nice.
Which I think it's pretty cool.
That is interesting.
It's super awesome. And I know that Kiss took Iron Maiden out on one of their very first tours, so there is a relationship there. Iron Maiden, great band, huge, successful. They would knock the Oath out of the park.
They would.
Bruce Dickinson's vocals, nuts, dude.
Yeah.
Gnarly. And this song kills. So
I can hear it.
I would love to hear it.
Oh, that's great. All right, on to track 9. My track 9 artist has absolutely nothing to do with Kiss as far as I can tell, but
love it.
But this just would be too good. I'll Fight Hell to Hold You. One of my favorite Kiss songs.
Yeah.
By Ariana Grande.
Oh, she's the only one that could pull that off vocally.
Right? Because you mentioned Taylor, and I was like,
yeah.
Taylor's voice is great, and it's gotten a lot stronger throughout the years, but I still feel like Ariana, she has that power.
She has the power.
She could do this song easily, like in her sleep.
Yes.
She's one of the best, whether you like her style of music, whether you like pop or not.
I'm not really a big fan of her, but like her singing.
Watch any video of her singing live, and you can't deny that she is one of the strongest, like, female vocalists of our generation, at least.
Absolutely.
You know what I mean? She's incredible. And I just think, just doing those crazy runs that he does in the chorus, would just be stunning in her voice.
Because her runs in Melisma, like, she's really talented.
They're so smooth.
It's effortless. And Paul at that time was effortless. It was incredible.
And she has the range. I mean, she can do like whistle notes. She can sing so high.
Yeah.
Like it. I just think it would be incredible, and I wish I could actually hear it, make it happen.
AI, where's the AI at when you need it?
know.
That would be so cool to hear.
Yeah.
I like that. My track 9 is gonna blow your mind.
Okay, I'm ready.
You also had this song on your album.
Okay.
Every Time I Look at You. By Taylor Swift.
Ooh! It was in the running.
Was it really?
It was on my Taylor list until I thought of Keith to do it, and then I was like, okay.
For sure.
It's gotta be Keith. But I really do like that.
So, obviously, I know
she'd be so good.
that a lot of people, may not like Taylor. I feel like Taylor Swift in 2024 is like Kiss in 77.
Yeah.
You couldn't go anywhere without seeing Kiss back then, and everybody hated him because of it, you know what I mean? And they were just too big, you know what I mean? And then nowadays, everybody sees Taylor and they just get like upset, even though they probably don't even know what she sounds like or whatever. But most people, I think, would know Taylor more, at least now, as more of a pop artist.
Mm-hmm.
Obviously, she came in the beginning, had a more of a country style, but I like her acoustic stuff. Her acoustic guitar, her acoustic songwriting.
Yes.
And so I was like, well, what acoustic song would I give? And I almost gave her Forever.
Yeah.
Because that's the more...
I thought about that too.
...popular choice. It's the biggest... I thought, no, we're going to do the opposite. I'm going to go with the other one.
Yeah.
Forever is a love song. Every Time I Look at You is almost like a breakup, I'm sorry song. It's not a breakup song, but it's an I'm sorry apologetic song.
Right.
So I wanted... I thought, we're going to give her that.
I can hear it. And
so,
it literally gives me goosebumps to think about her or Keith Urban singing that song.
I think she would... Oh, yeah, yours was... They should do a duet.
That would be amazing.
If Keith and Taylor did a duet of that song.
That would be... They have one
that
duet.
Would be...
So they do have a duet together.
Okay.
And it's fantastic. It's called That's When.
What kind of song is it? Is it a...
It's interesting because it's actually like an apology kind of song.
Oh!
now that I think about it.
Are we manifesting?
But their voices together are just absolutely magnificent.
Good to know.
Maybe we should be merging our two.
I like that.
That's great.
That's fun. I like that. No, I think she would just kill that second chorus bridge.
Yes.
It's gonna take a little time to show.
I mean,
you
she's well known for her
you
bridges.
Mean to me.
Yep.
Whoa, yeah. I can hear that. She would murder that.
I love
the guitar on stage, stomping her. Yeah. That's my track 9.
I love it. I'm so happy that you put Taylor on yours.
I was able to make it. Yeah.
Even though she doesn't really make sense with the rest of your album, but I love it.
Well, I mean, Gaga.
You do have Gaga on there as well. Yes. I'm excited about this one. This is one that I didn't think of a single other song for this person. I thought of this song. I was like, I don't need to think further. This is perfect.
Okay.
Sure Know Something.
Love that song.
By Billy Joel.
Whoa.
Yeah.
Billy Joel would never be on a Kiss tribute, I don't think.
I don't know.
But I like that though.
So
but I like that.
It would be
sure
so
knows something.
good. I want to add a bunch of piano in there because he's well known for his amazing piano work.
Yeah.
And I just think it'd be so good in his voice. I can hear that song like he wrote it.
Yeah.
Add a bunch of piano in there. I love it.
That sounds really cool.
I don't know why, but
you're coming up with all kinds of like wild, like I said, like dream album stuff that would just be incredible to hear.
Also, I do want to say I'm sorry that my album is like 90% Paul Stanley songs.
For sure. So you have mostly Paul songs. So far I have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. 6 Gene vocals. One song, obviously, Cold Gin Ace wrote, but most of mine have been Gene so far.
So far, mine are all Paul except for 1.5. We have Watching You and Let Me Know. The rest are Paul. And I didn't mean to do that. But not only are Paul Stanley songs my favorite songs anyway, but also the kind of artists that I'm choosing, obviously, are more poppy artists that just fit the Paul songs better.
Oh, absolutely.
Most of my artists would sound ridiculous singing it. Imagine Taylor Swift singing any Gene song. No.
Oh my gosh.
No. It wouldn't make sense.
Nope.
But I think I have another one coming, so.
Okay.
I at least have 2.5 on
I like
there.
that. I like that for
sure. So yeah,
sure.
that was what was that, track 9?
That was your track 10.
10? Okay, what's yours?
Your track 10 was Billy Joel, right?
Sure Know Something by Billy Joel.
So it's funny because you also had this song.
Okay.
But you haven't had this artist yet. And I don't know if you will or not. Maybe.
Will I?
Maybe.
I'm so excited.
But imagine this, babe.
Oh, I'm so excited.
Babe. This one, again, is kind of, in terms of like Kiss, probably irrelevant. But
I know who it is.
How?
I don't know. Go ahead. Maybe I don't.
Watching You by The Warning.
Yes, I knew it.
You knew it was The Warning?
I knew it was The Warning.
Wow. How did you know that?
Just from the way you were talking about him just
Okay.
now. Because first of all, like I said, we didn't tell each other our track lists, but we were trying to figure things out last night and asking a bunch of questions.
Yeah,
and
without 20 questions,
without
basically.
saying it, I think we both kind of communicated about The Warning. So since you mentioned you haven't heard me do it yet, I had a feeling that's who it was.
For sure.
Watching You, I think
Watching You.
that was on my list for them.
The reason why is because, first of all, if you haven't heard The Warning,
oh, please do.
They just released a new album.
It's so good.
Is it called Keep Me Fed?
Keep Me Fed.
Keep Me Fed. Their other EP, LP, album, whatever, Error
album,
came out
yep.
a year or two before that. Absolutely incredible. If you're looking for good, hard-hitting, original, powerful rock and roll that doesn't sound like that crappy modern rock and roll, this is the band for you. These girls are killing it.
They're amazing.
I can think back to watching, I didn't even know at the time, but I was watching their videos of like Guitar Hero and them playing like instruments when they were very, very young.
Yeah.
Now
They've been doing this since they were like kids.
Now that they're adults, I mean
they're still in their early 20s.
Early 20s.
Yeah.
But their music is absolutely incredible. First of all, Danny's riffs are hard hitting. I feel like she would eat this riff up.
100%.
Lyrically, the song makes no sense, but I think she would just absolutely devour it.
Yeah, she would.
Allie's bass lines are just thick and heavy, and supporting that riff would just be so punchy. And let's face it, I think Pauline is like one of my favorite modern drummers right now.
She's incredible.
She makes me want to get back into playing drums, just get back into it for real, because not only is her drumming just hard hitting, but it reminds me, her drum beats kind of remind me of what Eric Singer would have done in the 90s on some Kiss, as opposed to just straightforward drum beats. She'll add in an extra kick here or there, whereas Eric Singer on Revenge might add in an extra kick drum. Not double bass, but just an extra, single kick bass drum. And when Eric played this song live, Watching You in the 90s, he would boost it, he would rev it up, so with Bruce. So I just want to hear The Warning with their distorted, modern, crunchy, hard-hitting rock sound. Distorted guitar, just big, powerful bass and drums.
It'd be so good.
I want to hear this song, because this song, Watching You is one of the best 70s Kiss songs in terms of just like riffs and just groove. Awesome.
That'd be so
and
good.
The Warning would be absolutely.
That was on my list for them before I gave it to Paramore. So
that's right. You chose Paramore after The Warning, so that's two female-fronted bands.
Exactly.
Just
modern
killing,
rock bands.
Yes.
I absolutely love that for The Warning, though. That is so good.
Yeah.
Okay.
Check out The Warning.
So we're on to track
11.
11. Oh, that's funny. So my track 11 is Jungle by The Warning.
By The Warning. Oh.
How good would that be?
Songwriting wise, that fits them to a T because
It
talk
does.
about society and the collapsing of society and like
Yes.
you know the manipulative mind. Oh wow.
When I really wanted Jungle on this album, and there's some other artists.
We talked about that song too.
Yes,
about
we
Jungle.
did. Yeah, without actually talking about it. I tried to give it some other artists, and I just couldn't. Even though sonically it might have sounded good, I just couldn't give a song with that heavy of a topic to certain bands or artists.
Sure.
I just couldn't see them doing a song like
Sure.
that. But The Warning does have a lot of heavier topic, like deep kind of songs.
I mean, Money is my favorite song. That song talks about it.
Yeah, so good. But I was like, I can 100% hear Danny and maybe even Pow singing some of those lyrics.
Mm-hmm.
And I just think it'd be so heavy and
It would be really
so good. But that's funny that the Warning songs are both towards the end.
Yeah, for sure. And I like what you said because, you know, with this kind of subject matter, you know, it's... Some folks would even say this is not a Kiss song because it's so lyrically off base, you know,
Right.
from what you know about Kiss. But you're right. You know, I chose Tool
Yeah.
for mine because, again, Tool has more, you know, sophisticated music and lyrics.
Mm-hmm.
And so I felt like, yeah, that'd be a perfect, you know, and again, yeah, The Warning, you're right. The Warning talks a lot about, you know, different things in society and,
Yep.
you know, being brainwashed or just like the good and the bad and the ugly and
Just the darker
the
side
reality,
of the world. Yeah.
the reality, you know.
Yeah.
So I like that. That's a really good choice.
Yeah, because Jungle is a song about just reality. I mean, it's not all negative. It's saying there is horrible
good things happen to good people, good things happen to bad people, bad things happen to good people, bad things happen to bad people.
Exactly. Like, it's just...
And guess what?
It's
It
a
never
jungle.
goes away.
Yes. And it literally is just a jungle. And, like, it's like there's great things happening for some people while other people are dying and starving and things like that. You know what I mean? And I just thought it fit so well with them, and I would love to hear their version.
Totally agree.
I love it. What's your...
So, my track, are you ready for this?
I am.
So this one, kind of like God of Thunder, we already heard it, but let's just make it official. Beth by Adam Lambert.
Oh, yeah.
We know
okay,
that
you do have Adam on there.
Adam Lambert performed a snippet of this
Yes.
before introducing Kiss and performing with Kiss on American Idol back in like 29 or something
I
like
forgot
that.
he started with Beth.
He started with Beth, and it sounded, of course, flawless and
His
amazing.
voice is beautiful.
And he had that super glam get up with
Yes.
the glitter, the black glitter. And
yeah, the platforms, too.
Yeah,
he
so
was, like, on their level, literally.
He was in full Kiss mode, you know, and I'm like, I want to hear a full version, fully produced, full vocal version of Beth with Adam Lambert on vocals.
I love that.
I like how you started your album off with him, right?
Yeah.
And what song was that again?
Psycho Circus.
See, that's funny because we went total opposite.
Yeah, we did.
Total opposite. That's crazy.
He can do both, though.
He would do both. Yes.
Gosh, he's so talented. He's so talented.
Yeah.
I would love to hear his version of Beth.
That's cool.
That's great. I'm happy that he made it onto yours. Oh, we're in the home stretch.
We're in
Two
the
left.
home stretch.
Okay, I'm excited about this one. I'm wondering if you thought about this artist
I
at
think,
all.
what if we did? What if we did? It's the same artist again. Go ahead.
My track 12 is Naked City by Miley Cyrus.
What? No, we were not thinking the same thing at all. Also,
Think about it, though.
Also one of the best female vocals of our generation.
Absolutely.
Miley Cyrus.
Oh my
Incredible.
gosh. I had to have her on here.
Hannah Montana. Oh my gosh. Amazing.
I mean, seriously.
Dude,
and-
I'm serious. Go ahead.
No, like, actually.
I love Hannah Montana.
I had to have her on here because she is one of the strongest female vocalists of our
Miley's
generation.
incredible.
And she also is very versatile in her genres. I mean, she's obviously done a lot of pop. She's done some country type songs. Her voice is very suited for country, but she's also very suited for rock and roll. Her, I think, 2021 album, Plastic Hearts, if you haven't heard that, it is fantastic.
It was really good.
It was good. It was like rock Miley, and it was fantastic.
It was very surprising.
It was so good. She had a song with Joan Jett that's so good on that album, and another one with Billy Idol.
Mm-hmm.
Oh my, and that's the vibe of the album, is like those two artists. That sums it up.
Yeah. It was very 80s rock.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I don't know why. I don't know why Naked City, but I can hear her doing it, and that's Naked City is one of my favorite Gene songs. Ever. I don't know why. It's just so good.
It's, for some reason, just an amazing song.
It's just fantastic.
It's been slept on for so long.
It's totally slept on, and it's so good. And the lyrics are so good, which we don't always get with Gene songs. But I don't know why. I can just hear Miley doing it, and I would love it.
That's interesting. So I did not have Miley on my list.
You didn't? Did you think about her at all?
I did not.
I'm surprised
I'm kind of surprised, too.
Yeah.
I'm kind of surprised that I didn't.
I think there's a lot she could do, honestly, but I just thought this was a fun, unexpected one. And I was trying to find more Gene songs. I didn't want to force it, but I was like, if any of these, especially the female artists I have on my list, could do a Gene song, it'd be Miley.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, for sure. I went with Lady Gaga for mine.
Nice. Yeah, fair.
So my track 12, I'm surprised you haven't mentioned this artist. And I wonder if this artist closes out your album, that's going to be wild. But my track 12 is Black Diamond by Greta Van Fleet.
I knew it.
Is that? Oh,
I knew you were going to say Greta Van Fleet.
For how?
I just did.
You're crazy. You're way too in my head right now.
I can read your mind.
You're way too in my head.
I promise I can't see your screen.
No, I know, but so Black
Diamond.
Greta Van Fleet. So Greta Van Fleet is one of those bands that we've watched, go from being
Greta
nobodies to they played the same place Kiss played.
Yeah.
On the end of the road, Gamebridge. You know what I mean? 20,000. Right around there, whatever.
Yeah, they're playing big arenas now.
Absolutely, just incredible show, incredible band. They've really come into their own. Several great albums, and I think that I was trying to think of a really good Kiss song because they were not a go-to artist for the album.
Mm-hmm.
But once I found and was considering Black Diamond, I was like, the only band for that
I like that.
I
never would have thought about that
is
for
Greta
them,
Van Fleet
like
because it starts off with the acoustic and it's very quiet and Josh, that's the lead singer, right?
Yep.
Yeah, so he would start off with a very soft out on the streets for a live.
Beautiful.
And instead of going from Paul to Peter, Josh would just continue on using his soft vocals to his big vocals.
Yeah, because he's got both big time.
And Peter, when he sings Black Diamond, has that raspy, huge, rock vocals, and Josh I feel like Josh has that.
Yeah.
But he also has that Paul Stanley, Robert Plant, huge wailing vocals.
Yes.
And he would take both of that and just run with it.
Oh, that'd be so
Not
good.
to mention, the back half of Black Diamond is just a huge jam. Dun, 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 dun. So, I mean, in Greta Van Fleet, the last half of their show is one big jam.
It
feels like, So they're just like, they're a big jam band. And they extend their songs, they go crazy with the solos. And I'm like, dude, hearing Greta Van Fleet play Black Diamond would be... I mean, we're at like track 12. It's almost a showstopper. You know what I mean? It's like we're at the closing part of the album, one of the big finales. Greta Van Fleet. I also wanted to have a couple of younger artists and modern artists that I said earlier. The artists of today, yesterday, and tomorrow.
Right.
The Warning and Greta Van Fleet are going to be known for our generation as like the new rock band,
Absolutely.
the new big time. Because I mean, the Warning even they were on MTV.
Yeah,
the
they're
Music
getting
Awards,
bigger too.
They're getting bigger. Again, their sophomore album, I think, or maybe is it their third album?
They've had a few. I think this is their fourth
fourth album.
Yeah.
Yeah. So, both bands are just kind of continuing on. So it's cool. We saw the Warning with at the Egyptian Room.
And a
200 people. It was very small.
Yeah, in a small venue, and I don't think we'll ever get a chance to see them in a venue that small again. And I'm so grateful that we went when we did. It was
awesome.
It was an incredible experience.
It was.
And Greta, we've already got to see a few times as well.
You've seen Greta Van Fleet, what, two or three times?
3 times. You've seen them 2. I've seen them 3. And I would go again in a heartbeat. They are an incredible live act. And
their live act is so good.
And I love Black Diamond for them. I never would have thought of that, but it's
Black
perfect.
Diamond. I can hear it.
Me too. Are we on to the closing track?
And Jake is the guitar player, right?
Yes.
I can hear out on the streets for Josh, out on the streets for a living. Jake, dun 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 dun. Pictures only. Oh, they would just kill it.
Yeah, they
would.
So good. I can see it. All right, we ready for our closing tracks?
Let's do this.
I feel like at this point you know who the artist on my closing track is.
Is it?
Let me say the song first. My closing track is "I Still Love You" by Greta Van Fleet.
Ooh.
Yeah. So I knew I wanted Greta on this album, obviously.
Okay.
They are one of my absolute favorite bands. I love them so much. And I really wanted them to have a song from The Elder, was my first thought. And it made the most sense to me because they are one of those bands that you were talking about earlier that are a little bit more progressive, on the progressive side, and can do the real
different
mystical,
things.
dramatic kind of songs like that. So I wanted to give them an Elder song, but I couldn't find one that quite made sense. Because my problem was the only one I really wanted them to sing was the one that's a cover, and I didn't really, because the Odyssey is a cover, right?
Right.
And I would love to hear them sing Odyssey. I think it's the perfect one on that album for them.
Oh my gosh, I could totally hear that.
Isn't that incredible?
Ooh, I could hear him in his...
Yes.
In the far off galaxy.
It'd be so good. But at the same time, I didn't really want to include a song that was already a cover to begin with by Kiss. I wanted Kiss originals. So that's why I went with something else. And since I couldn't quite find one, I think I almost did I from The Elder. I thought that'd be pretty good too.
Yes.
Because they have a lot of like uplifting kind of songs like that, so I can see them having a song like that. Reminds me of like My Way Soon. That's like, you know, really about self-confidence and things like that.
Yeah.
But at the end of the day, I really just wanted to highlight Josh's vocals, and when I came across I Still Love You, I was like, yeah, that's it. Because Paul's vocals on that song are just insane. That song builds like crazy, and that's what I would want Greta to do with it. Just extend it.
I would love to hear Jake or Josh hold that long note out.
Yeah.
That would be...
It'd be so good. And I can just see them extending the end of it and just jamming at the end. Like, it builds to this big, majestic ending. And I think it'd be a perfect way to end this album.
I like that. Yeah. See, you're thinking... Again, I was thinking the same thing. You're getting to the end. It's a big jam band. You want to, like, this big blowout, this big finale.
We both saved Greta Van Fleet for towards the end. But I thought it'd be a perfect closeout to this album.
I like it. It's a great way to close your album.
That's my album.
Okay, so closing out my album is... I wanted this artist on here, and I had trouble thinking about what song I wanted to give them because I was overthinking it. So here's what I came up with to close out my album. I chose War Machine by Metallica.
Oh, whoa!
So I wanted Metallica on this list because obviously Metallica, huge Kiss fans.
Yeah.
Saw this clip of them playing Love Gun while rehearsing. It was so funny. And of course, when we all saw Kiss in Louisville, Jeb and I had saw Metallica at that same venue a few days prior, and they stayed. They were there at the show.
Showed them on the camera at the end.
Yes, and they were on the camera, and they were backstage hanging out, and it was absolutely incredible. So I knew that given that they're such big Kiss fans, and obviously they pushed metal and pushed rock into metal into thrash, and obviously are one of the biggest bands worldwide. I thought they have to be on this album, and they have to close out this album. But I was like, well, they're mostly known as a thrash metal band. So kind of like Slipknot. I started out with a thrash metal band. I'm going to end it with a thrash metal band.
Nice.
But I was like, I can't think of any other thrashy songs that Metallica could play. So what I decided to do was look at Metallica's other side, which is their more melodic, hard rock sound. Yeah. That you got on maybe the Black Album and Reload. And so when I think about War Machine, hearing Lars play that beat and hearing James and Kirk on that riff, that just sounds to me total Metallica.
I can hear it.
And James singing those vocals. I mean, Metallica's talked about war and different subjects like that. So this would just be, again, kind of like that. And Metallica, they're a war machine. Their music is heavy metal. Metallica. So... what better song for Metallica to do than War Machine?
That's so good.
And I feel like, with Metallica, again, they're a big jam band, right? So I felt like with this version, they could take that middle section and just extend it for as long as they want. Yeah. And go on one of their classic Metallica jam sessions before coming back into it at the end and finishing out with that, slow, just dun 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 dun, just that slow heavy. Because Metallica does fast heavy really good, but they also do slow heavy really well as well. Metallica is just one of those versatile bands like that. I mean, we could have given them other songs too because they do songs like The Unforgiven, which are a little more subdued and like that, Until It Sleeps, kind of like that. So I was like, man, I could go a few different routes with this, but I thought for some reason War Machine by Metallica
that sounds incredible. Awesome. It makes sense.
Yeah, so there's
strong closing track.
So there's my album, and now that we're at the end, I want to reveal something about my album. That I don't know if anybody else has picked up on this yet.
I certainly have not.
But I wonder if anybody's noticed that I started off with Hate. Hate is the first song off Carnival of Souls. My second track is Within, which is the second track off Psycho Circus. Track 3, Dr. Love. Track 3 off of Rock and Roll Over. Track 4 is Cold Gin. It's the 4th track off the first album. Track 5 is Under the Rose, which is track 5 on the correct version of The Elder. Track 6, Jungle, just like it is on Carnival of Souls. 7, God of Thunder, is the track 7 off Double Platinum, where I first heard it. Track number 8, The Oath, is also track number 8 on The Elder. Track number 9, Every Time I Look at You. All of these are the same.
They correspond to that.
With the original album. Track 12, Black Diamond. This is track 12 on Kiss Alive. Now, War Machine is not track 13 off Creatures. There's only 9 tracks on Creatures.
But it's the closing track.
But it closes
Yeah.
Creatures of the Night, so it closes mine.
Wow.
So all of mine...
Did you do that intentionally? Like when you...
I started out having no clue.
Right.
And then at a certain point, it was, let's see. Yeah, so I already had Hate by Slipknot as the opening track, and Within and Dr. Love. I knew War Machine was going to be my closing. I don't know what else, but I know that once I got to track 7, and we had track 7, I was like, I want track 7 to be Rob Zombie playing God of Thunder. And I was like, that's kind of funny. Track 7 is, it's off of Double Platinum, too,
Yeah.
God of Thunder. And I realized, wait, Hate and Within are also...
1 and 2.
And I realized that, like, over half the album was like that, just without me even
Just
trying.
coincidentally.
And the rest of it just fell into place.
That's crazy.
It fell into place. I knew, for instance, Beth was going to be played by Adam Lambert.
Yeah.
You know, so I made it track 11, like it is on, I think,
Right.
I think it's track 11 on Smash Dresses and Hits.
Okay.
You know, because Eric Carr sings Beth.
Yes.
Well, now Adam Lambert singing Beth.
That is
So
crazy.
it just kind of so happened that my album kind of played out that way.
I can't believe you did that, and also you did this so fast. Like, I have been obsessing over this for the past week.
It was fun. This was a lot of fun.
It was so much fun, but especially the last few days, I've spent so much time on this, and I feel like you did all of yours last night in like no time.
I
mean, you had started, you had some in mind.
I
but-
wasn't able to actually get started on mine.
Yeah, you just didn't have
as
much
early
time.
as you were able to. So mine was mostly mental. So
Right.
once I started finally writing it down, it started coming out very fast.
Yeah.
Because I knew what artists
I'm
I
too
wanted
indecisive.
and what songs. And then, like, again, once I started organizing, I was like, wait a minute, there's a theme here that's happening that I didn't even know.
Yeah.
So I'm just going to finish it out like that and see.
I love
But,
it.
yeah.
That's amazing.
But I want to know your bonus tracks.
Yes,
and bonus
I do have
artists.
some extras. One thing I didn't mention when I was talking about the Greta Van Fleet track is another song that I considered for Greta Van Fleet was Jungle before I gave it to The Warning.
That would be awesome.
And I still think it would be really good.
Yes, it would.
But that was a case where, and it's not that like all their songs are like happy-go-lucky or anything, but I feel like Greta Van Fleet in general has a more positive vibe, and that was one where I couldn't quite hear Josh singing about like that much
Sure.
darker, negative kind of vibes.
Sure, I see that.
So that's why I gave it to somebody else. But so The Warning was the hardest because I wanted to give them so many different songs. So I did have some written down for them.
Okay.
That I still think would be really good. So
Let's hear 'em.
my 2 bonus tracks for The Warning are Creatures of the Night.
Oh my gosh.
Right?
By The Warning?
Yes.
Whoa.
How good would that be?
I never even considered that.
That'd be so good. But
Wow.
also Exciter from Lick It Up.
Whoa.
I know.
I never would have thought of that either.
How good is that, though? I'm like, I told you last night, I was like, there's one artist that I need to be on this album like 3 times because I can't decide between these songs. And that's who I was talking about.
So I could hear that.
Right? And I can just hear the vocals, too. I just think
Exciter.
it'd be so good.
Cool.
And then I mentioned that Taylor Swift, I had a lot of songs to choose between for her as well. So my other options for her were My Way.
Yes.
And that was more like just the topic of the song and the lyrics.
Independence.
Yes.
I'm me.
I think
get
it would,
out of my way.
Right. I think it would just fit so well with like where she's currently at in her life and like re-recording her albums and like coming into her own once she's like been wronged by all these people.
She's owning her own music.
Yes.
She's re-recording it.
And she said, I'm going to do it my way.
I'm going to walk like I walk and talk like I talk. I'm going to do it my way.
How good is that? How Taylor Swift is that?
That is on point.
Right? So I thought topic-wise that was so good for her. But at the end of the day, I thought Dreamin' would sound a little bit better. Mm-hmm. And then for some reason, Turn on the Night was a contender.
Whoa.
Because I was thinking, I mean, Taylor has a lot of different sides, a lot of different eras.
It's a good fun one.
I was thinking, like, 1989, like, her real, like, pop era.
Real pop era. Feeling 22.
Yes, yeah. If you've heard the song, you probably haven't, but if you know the song New Romantics from...
New Romantics.
Yeah,
Yep.
from 1989. That's, like, kind of the same pace and the same vibe as Turn on the Night, and I could just hear it. I just thought it'd be so good. Jack Antonoff would produce the heck out of it, and it'd be so good.
I liked it.
And then my last one for Taylor was Reason to Live, which I think you mentioned, maybe.
I did not.
No, you said Tears Are Falling, maybe.
Tears Are Falling and Forever.
Yeah, but Reason to Live.
Oh my
How good would that be?
gosh.
I know.
That one should legit happen.
Yeah.
There's a lot of Paul songs that she could just knock out of the park.
That's why I struggled so hard to decide. I listened to
Wow.
those 4 songs over and over today, trying to decide which one to give her.
Wow.
But yeah, I thought Reason to Live would be so good as well.
For sure. I like it.
So those are my bonuses.
So I didn't really have too many bonus ones. The only one I have, the only one I actually like really considered putting on there but didn't make it was funny because you also had Strutter.
Yeah.
So I had Strutter by Weezer.
Ooh, fun!
Because when they opened for Kiss on this last tour, they did a cover of Strutter live.
I was gonna say that sounded familiar.
And it worked really well.
That was cool.
It really fit. I didn't
like
really
Weezer, they're fun.
find too many songs that I felt like would fit their style.
Right.
But that was one where, again, it's just very straight ahead.
And you know they can do it because they've already done
and
it.
They've done it, yeah. And so I was like, let's make it official. That would be so cool to like. So if there was a bonus track, maybe, Weezer could do Strutter.
I like that.
And then today on my way home, I was thinking, what if Ozzy did Psycho Circus?
Oh, that'd be too good.
Like, it's a crazy train. It's Psycho Circus.
No, that makes a lot of sense.
But I don't know. I didn't put Ozzy on here. That would have worked though.
Yeah.
But anyway, this has been super fun. So again, what we want to know is what did you guys come up with?
Yes.
We want to know what artists you think would play what Kiss songs very well. That's what we want to know.
Yeah.
Again, as many songs you want, whatever artists you want, I would love to hear that. Clearly. We were, going from genre to genre. If you want to keep yours all rock or all metal or all this, whatever. Who wants to do an all rap Kiss covers album? How would that even work? I don't know. But anyway, so yeah, that's really fun. But so thank you guys so much for playing along with us. I do want to get to just a couple more things before we close. Yeah. One of which is the Collector's Corner. I always want to, or I usually will show something that I've just recently got for the collection in an episode. And I'm sad to say that this may be the last one for a while. This may be the last Collector's Corner for a hot minute. Your boy's been getting crazy this year. I've been keeping track of how much I've been spending and buying whatever these last couple years. And where I'm at right now this year is already more than last year.
Than all of last year?
I think.
Babe.
I think.
You have a problem.
I do have a problem, and I'm going to solve it by opening more.
And then stopping?
Maybe. I don't know. We'll see. But no.
Really slowing
for the
down
first time,
significantly.
For the first time, I don't have anything on the way.
Good.
Like, there's no Kiss online order. There's nothing, like, on back order. There's nothing waiting. So I'm literally about to open the last package that I have. Man, they get this stuff packaged really well. Okay.
Yes, well, I'm glad they do, because this is
absolutely
fragile kind of stuff.
Absolutely. And I know I've been showing a lot of these recently, but yes, this is yet another Kiss ticket from an Indiana show. So you guys may have known, or may have seen recently, I've been buying a lot of Kiss tickets from Indiana. And so even like Kiss guitar picks from Indiana as well. And so this one comes from Saturday, September 1st, 2012. This was on The Tour, which is actually why I'm wearing this shirt.
Oh, nice.
This is the shirt I got from this show.
Nice.
But anyway, the reason why this is cool is because the tickets that we have and that we got from the show were our first ever print-off tickets. They were just printed off.
Just a piece of copy paper.
Just a piece of copy paper with your terms and conditions and then a little barcode.
Right.
It's nowhere near as fun as this. So I've never actually owned a physical ticket from this show, and somebody on eBay was selling theirs for really cheap. So I bought it straight up. So there we go. I'm going to add this to my Kiss Indiana ticket collection.
There's something about a physical ticket.
Absolutely.
I'm sad that it's less of a thing now, but I'm glad that it still exists in some form.
Yeah, it's becoming less and less of a thing, which sucks. But I like to see some folks, selling their stuff on eBay, and I'm like, hey, if you don't want it, I'll take it.
Yeah.
So, that's one thing. That's the only thing I have this week for the Collector's Corner. But I am still doing the Kiss merch of the year. And this is episode 105. So I'm going to show something from 2005. And it's actually the only item I'm going to show today. And it is this necklace lighter. How random is this?
That is cool.
See, I love the random Kiss stuff. So this is, yes, it is a lighter. You can see right there. Zippo style. Not a Zippo, but it is Zippo style. And yeah.
Nice.
And I believe it does have... Yeah, some fluid, so it still works. But yeah, so this, you would just literally hang it around your necklace, or around your neck, as a necklace.
That's hilarious.
Totally not practical.
No, who would do that?
Very novel, but it's also pretty heavy. If you want, you can hold it and you can feel how...
Oh, that's quite heavy.
It's quite heavy. But
I would not want that around my neck.
No. And
but it's fun.
Bought it for very cheap just a couple of years ago. This is the case that it came in.
Nice. I like the little tin.
The sticker, is taped to the lid, so the lid is now not forever, but like it just stays on the bottom now.
Yeah.
But anyway, there you guys go. There's the lid. There's the bottom. At the Kiss. Oh, it's so awesome.
That's great.
On the bottom. But yeah, so very random item. But you know what? That's what I like the most. The random stuff. I saw this and thought, okay, that's ridiculous. That's coming home with me. Gotta show it the pod one day. Anyway, so there is that, and I think that's pretty much it. We weren't really going to do anything else but this on this episode, so hopefully you guys had your list made. I am dying to know what songs you guys have, what bands.
I seriously cannot wait.
What artists. I think maybe we'll read them on the next episode.
That's a good idea.
So did you want to, on the next episode, maybe look at a couple Kiss tribute albums and review those? Or what do you want to do? For sure.
Yeah.
How about we do this? How about whatever happens next episode, we'll spotlight Kiss tribute albums.
Okay.
And we'll pick some of our favorite songs and choices in the comments.
Yeah.
And read them on the show.
I can't wait.
Because I'm just dying to hear what everybody else comes up with. You guys have gotten a taste for our music tastes. We want to know what you guys think, what you guys listen to, and what artists you would choose. Yeah, absolutely. Do whatever you guys want with it. Have fun. I cannot wait to read what everybody chooses. It's going to be awesome. But anyway, this has been kind of a long episode, so thank you guys so much for sticking around and joining us and watching. I really do appreciate it. And I also want to shout out the Kiss R&B Things Patreon super fans. We have Darren, we have Rex, Matthew, Bjorn, and Greg. You guys rock. You guys
Thank you guys. That's awesome.
Seriously, thank you guys for supporting us. It's been really great posting extra content. I just started a little chat, a little personal Kiss Army Things chat for everybody.
I like that.
You're listening to Kiss or just bought something, sharing pictures, share photos,
That's
fun. Talk about whatever you want. It's a lot of fun. We have some more bonus content going up within the next couple weeks, and I've been trying to get Jeb back on it and get Jeb involved. So fingers crossed for that. Yeah. But anyway, I just love doing this, you know what I mean? Having fun with Kiss, talking about Kiss's music, and just having fun. Like I said, that's all we do around here, celebrate Kiss. We have fun, we keep it positive, keep it cool. Hope you guys are doing well, and we will see you in the next episode where we're going to continue to talk about Kiss tributes, I guess.
It's the theme for now.
It's the Kiss tribute summer, I guess. But anyway, it's been a lot of fun, so thank you guys so much for joining us, and we'll see you next time, episode 106 of the Kiss Army Things podcast. Until then, my name is Xander.
My name is Daphne.
Peace out. Rock on.